What is going on YouTube? Just helping you out here. And in this video, I am going to be building the mission models contained in Bag 9 for the FLL Superpowered 2022-2023 game. Contained in this bag is the dinosaur toy, and in order to successfully build it, you are going to need this bag labeled number 9, as well as this unlabeled bag. Alright, let's get into the build, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so first up, you'll be needing 2 black pins and one of those curved green plates. And you are going to insert those black pins into these 2 end holes. Now you'll be needing one of these size 11 black beams that has holes on both faces. You know it's size 11 because it has 11 holes. And what you're going to do is insert these 2 holes onto these 2 pins. Now you'll be needing a black pin, 2 long blue pins, and a gray pin. And now what you want to do is insert the gray pin into this end hole. And then you're going to take the long part of one of these blue pins and insert that all the way through the next hole. And then in the hole next to that, you're going to insert the black pin. And then you're going to insert the long part of the last blue pin into this end hole, all the way through. Now you'll be needing 2 of those small red pins and one of those red pieces that has a beam hole. And now what you want to do is rotate this up. And you're going to insert the long side of these red pins into this hole and this hole. And then you are going to take this red piece and insert it onto this blue pin right here. Now you'll be needing a blue piece that's part pin and part axle, a green piece with an axle hole in each end, one of those gray pieces with an axle hole, and a size 5 gray axle. You know the axle is size 5 because if you hold a beam up to it, you'll see it spans 5 holes, making it a size 5 axle. So now what you want to do is insert that axle into this axle hole here. And then you want to take the axle part of this blue piece and put that in the other end of the green piece, like this. And now you want to insert that gray axle into this hole right here. And then you want to put this gray piece onto that axle from the other side, all the way down. Now you'll be needing a size 5 gray axle, one of those green pieces with an axle hole in each end, and a tan piece that's part pin and part axle. And you're going to do something similar to a couple steps ago. You're going to insert that axle into this axle hole right here. And then you're going to insert the axle part of this tan piece into the other side. And this time you're going to insert the gray axle into this hole here. Now you'll be needing a small red pin and one of those curved black pieces. And now the first thing you want to do is insert the long side of this red pin into this hole right here. And now you want to spin this piece around. And also flip this piece over. And you are going to insert this axle hole all the way down onto this gray axle right here. Now you'll be needing 4 long blue pins and one of those green L's. And what you want to do is insert the short side of these blue pins into the following holes. One at the end of the short side, one at the end of the long side, one in this corner hole here, and the last one will go in between these 2 blue pins. Now you'll be needing a green L, and you are going to insert it in this orientation onto these 2 pins. Now you'll be needing 2 long blue pins and a green L, and you are going to insert the short side of those pins into this hole and this hole. And now, just like this, you're going to insert this end hole and the third hole from the end onto these two pins. And now what you want to do is you want to insert this corner hole here onto this black pin right here. And then this blue pin right here will go into this corresponding hole. Now you'll be needing one of those bent black beams, 2 of those size 3 yellow axles, a size 3 red beam, and 2 long blue pins. And the first thing you want to do is insert the axles into the axle holes at either end. Just make sure they go through, but not any further. So you'll see they just go right to the other side. And now you want to insert the short side of these blue pins into this hole here and this hole here. And finally, you're going to insert these 2 holes of this red beam onto these 2 pieces here. And now what you want to do is you want to spin this around, and you're going to insert this corner hole here onto this gray pin here. Now you'll be needing a size 11 green beam and that curved green plate. You are first going to insert the end hole of this beam onto this pin right here. And then you are going to insert this hole of the curved green plate onto this pin right here. Now you'll be needing 2 green L's, and you are going to insert one of them just like this onto these 4 pins right here. And then you are going to insert this hole and this hole onto these 2 pins right here. Now you'll be needing 2 long blue pins and a size 5 green beam. And what you're going to do is insert the short side of these blue pins into these 2 end holes. Now you'll be needing a size 11 and a size 5 green beam. And you are first going to center the size 11 one onto these 2 pins. And then you're going to take the size 5 one and put it on those 2 pins. And what you want to do is insert this hole and this hole onto these 2 pieces here. Now you'll be needing this bent black beam, and you are going to insert that like this onto these 4 pieces right here. Now you'll be needing a black pin, a long blue pin, and a gray pin. You are first going to insert the gray pin into this corner hole here. And then the black pin will go into this hole right here. And then finally, the short side of this blue pin is going to go into this hole right here. Now you'll be needing 2 black pins and one of those curved green plates. And what you want to do is insert those pins into the 2 end holes. Now you'll be needing one of these size 11 black beams with holes on both faces. And you are going to insert that beam onto these 2 black pins. Now you'll be needing a long blue pin, 2 of those small red pins, and one of those red pieces with a beam hole. And the first thing you want to do is insert the long part of these red pins into this hole and this hole. And then you're going to take the long side of this blue pin and insert it all the way through this hole. And then finally, this red piece is going to be inserted onto this pin here. Now you're going to insert these 3 pins into this black beam here, and then these 2 axles will go into the 2 holes on the bottom of this plate. Now you'll be needing a blue piece that's part pin and part axle, and one of those green pieces with an axle hole in each end. And what you want to do is insert the axle part of this blue piece into one of the ends of the green piece. And then you are going to insert the other end of that green piece onto this axle here. Now you'll be needing a tan piece that's part pin and part axle, and another one of those green pieces with an axle hole in each end. And you are going to do the same thing, axle part into this hole here. And now this time the green piece will go on this axle. Now you can go ahead and set this piece off to the side for now. Now for this next piece, you need to build 2 of them, so I'm going to go ahead and build them at the same time. And for the first step, you're going to be needing 2 of those size 3 yellow axles and 2 orange pieces with a beam hole and axle hole. And what you're going to do is insert the axle into the axle hole of that orange piece, and you want to bring it to the other side, but not any further. So you should have 2 pieces like this. Now you'll be needing 2 of these bent black beams. And now you're going to insert the axle from behind into this axle hole here. Just make sure that when you do that, this orange piece is faced that way. And now you need to make the other one. Now you'll be needing 2 long blue pins and 2 more of those orange pieces with an axle hole and beam hole. And you want to take the long side of the blue pin and insert it all the way through the beam hole of the orange piece. And you were going to insert the blue pin into this hole right here. This time you want to make sure the orange piece is pointed down. Now you'll be needing 2 of those blue pieces that's part pin and part axle, and 2 more of the orange pieces with a beam hole and axle hole. And the first thing you want to do is insert the orange piece onto these 2 pieces here. And then you're going to take the axle part of these blue pieces and put them into this axle hole here. Now you'll be needing 2 of these size 3 green beams, and you are going to insert the end hole onto this blue pin here. And you want this green piece to angle down like that. Now you can go ahead and pick up this piece I told you to set aside earlier. And so what you're going to do is you're going to insert this end hole right here onto this pin, and then this hole right here onto this pin. And now on this one, you're going to be doing something similar. You want this end hole here onto this pin here, but now this time you want this hole in this pin. Now you can go ahead and set this piece off to the side. Now you'll need to make another piece that's pretty similar to the last one. Again, you'll need to make 2 of them, so I'm going to do both at the same time. And to start that, you'll be needing 2 of those orange pieces with a beam hole and axle hole, and 2 size 3 yellow axles. And you want to insert the axle into the axle hole of the orange piece, so it goes to the other side and no further. Now you'll be needing 2 bent black beams, and you are going to insert this axle into this axle hole right here. And you want to make sure that the orange piece is pointed that way. Now you'll be needing 2 long blue pins and 2 of those orange pieces with a beam hole and axle hole. And you're going to insert the long side of the blue pin all the way through the beam hole of the orange piece. And now you want to insert this blue pin into this hole right here, making sure that the orange beam is pointed down. Now you'll be needing 2 of those orange pieces that have a beam hole and axle hole, and 2 blue pieces that are part pin and part axle. And we will first insert this orange piece onto this pin and this axle. And then the axle part of these blue pieces are going to be inserted into this axle hole here. Now you'll be needing 2 of those size 3 green beams, and you are going to insert the end hole of this beam onto this pin here. Again, you want to angle it down like this. Now you can go ahead and pick up this piece I told you to set aside earlier. And what we're going to do is you're just going to flip it around like this. And now what you want to do is insert this end hole here onto this pin right here, and then this middle hole right here onto this pin here. And now for this one, you want to insert the end hole onto this pin, but this time you want this hole to go into this pin. Now you'll be needing 2 of those long green bricks and 4 of those green slanted pieces. And now what you want to do is take one of those green slanted pieces and insert it onto these 2 studs here. And then you're going to insert another one in the same orientation right next to it. So you should have 3 open studs on either side. And you will need to make 2 of these. And now you want to put one of these onto these 2 pins and the other onto these 2 pins. And if you do that correctly, it should be centered on the black beam below it, and you'll see these 2 slanted pieces align with the flat piece of this plate. And finally, you want to make sure that this slant points away from the piece and not toward it. So now for the other one. Now you'll be needing 2 long blue pins, 2 of those size 3 orange beams, and a size 7 orange beam. And the first thing you want to do is insert the short side of these blue pins into the 2 end holes of the size 3 beam. And then you want to take the size 7 beam and insert the end hole onto this pin here, all the way down. And now you want to insert this pin from behind into this end hole here. And then you're going to take the other size 3 orange beam and put it onto these 2 pins. Now you'll be needing a size 3 yellow axle, a long blue pin, and one of those curved green pieces. And what you want to do is you want to insert the short side of this long blue pin into this hole here. And then you want to take the yellow axle and insert it into this hole right here, all the way through, but not any further. And what you're going to do is insert this axle and this pin into these 2 holes right here from behind. Now you'll be needing 3 long blue pins, a size 3 yellow axle, 2 size 3 green beams, a green L, and a green curved piece. And the first thing you're going to do is insert the short side of those blue pins into these 2 end holes. And then you want to insert those pins from behind into this hole and this hole. And then finally, you're going to take the other size 3 green beam and insert it onto these 2 pins. Now you want to insert the long side of this blue pin all the way through this hole. And then you're going to put the axle into this axle hole here, so that there's an even amount of axle on either side of that middle green beam. Now you're going to take this axle and insert it into this bottom hole here. And then you're going to take the curved green piece and insert it onto these 3. Now you'll be needing 2 green L's. Now you'll be inserting this hole right here onto this blue pin on both sides. Now you'll be needing a size 4 black axle and 2 of those yellow pieces with an axle hole. And what you want to do is you want to bend these 2 L's up so that they align with that beam hole. And then you're going to take this black axle and insert that through this axle hole here all the way. And you want to get it about even so you have a little bit of black axle left on either side. And then you're going to take those yellow pieces with an axle hole and insert them on the 2 ends of that black axle. This is now your completed dinosaur toy, and it should look just like this. Now, just before we finish up this video, there is one thing that I would like to point out. If we take a look at this small bag that was contained in a bigger bag labeled number 9, you'll see we have quite a few extra pieces. We have a small red pin, a gray piece with an axle hole, a red piece with a beam hole, a gray pin, a yellow piece with an axle hole, and a black pin. If you have something similar, do not be worried. Typically they include extra pieces, usually the smaller ones. In case you happen to lose one, you'll have a spare, and it won't be a huge deal. Alright, so this is the completed dinosaur toy, and that is the mission model contained in bag 9. And so that's about it for this build video. Feel free to check out all our other LEGO videos in the playlist in the top left corner. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. Leave a comment if you have any questions or an idea for a future video. Feel free to follow my Instagram in the description below. And lastly, please don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about my channel so I can grow and help more of you guys out. I'm just helping you out. See you in the next video.